Na željo tvojih otrok bom govoril angliško, da me bodo lahko vsi otroci razumeli. Dear Misho, we have gathered today your family, your friends and acquaintances to accompany you to your last journey, many summers too early. We have first met at Joseph Stefan Institute in late 70s while you were at the reactor physics department before moving abroad for further studies. We started working together probably in 82 when you moved to reactor engineering department to work on probabilistic safety analysis PSA. It was new to you, as you were just finishing a PhD and research in Reading University in UK in totally different area on neutron scattering from superalloys. You worked for 2 years on PSA, collecting data on failure rates, on components and on human reliability, and assembling models for the Kershka MPP case. In 84, you moved to Republic's Inspectorate for Energy, where you were deputy and head inspector for nuclear safety. MPP Kershka achieved first criticality in 81 and started commercial operation in 83. There was plenty of regulatory and inspection work for MPP Kershka with the 3 Mile Islands Improvement Program and Westinghouse upgrades to fix vibrations in steam generators, licensing of plant operators, and many more. And you were the only qualified nuclear inspector. After Chernobyl accident in 86, you were among the core group who were pushing for establishing an independent Slovenian nuclear safety regulatory body. This happened in 88 with Dr. Milan Čopić as the first director and you as the first deputy director. But the agency in Vienna opened an interesting project on PSA and you were invited for 3 to 6 months to join. But the 3 and 6 months have passed and were prolonged. And then you were gradually taking up more responsibilities at IEA and longer contracts. Your portfolio at IEA was very broad, from safety culture evaluation techniques, analysis of safety significant events, developing safety standards and guides, assessment of national infrastructures against IEA standards, participating in advisory missions, evaluating advanced reactor technologies, capacity building, management of large international assistance projects, and more. You did not fight for managerial positions. You were rather working very hard, dedicated and professionally on your topics of interest. Your work at IEA also involved many travels to China, Pakistan, Vietnam, and many, many more. During your time at IEA, you have organized or participated at more than 150 workshops, seminars, and training courses on different nuclear safety topics. Although living in Vienna, you kept personal and professional contacts with Slovenia. You were active member of Nuclear Society of Slovenia, participating at several yearly conferences and organizing many IEA technical events in Slovenia and inviting Slovenian experts to IEA events and missions. From 2005 to 2011, we saw each other more often, as I was also working at IEA. You left the agency in 2012, but you kept working on shorter contracts with the agency for several more years. As if all this work was not enough, you have in 2014 opened an independent consultancy company on nuclear safety and security, NUCOM GmbH, working mainly for European Commission and IEA project and also for Kershka MPP. On top of that, or in parallel, you also worked for a few years as an advisor on nuclear matters to Slovenian mission in Vienna to the IEA. When we were traveling to Vienna in the 80s, 90s, and later from Joseph Stefan Institute or from Slovenian Nuclear Safety Administration, I remember you were always eager to organize an evening with food and beer, many times at your favorite Strand Cafe, with spare ribs and Budweiser beer. Also during the IA General Conferences, you were always among the organizers of an evening gathering. When inviting friends to your house for a drink or a bite, you often showed your passion for music by playing piano. I told you I was driving automatic since 2005, that we are getting older, not to say that automatic is better for the engine and for the transmission. I finally persuaded you to get an automatic. Later you told me this was your best decision with the cars. I also remember your several attempts to quit smoking. You tried everything, but smoke pause was always short. At some point, you went to a specialist for acupuncture, and you got a needle in 1 year. Whenever you would feel like smoking, you would rotate the needle, and the temptation was gone. At the end, also needle failed, but several years later, you quit smoking. You were very fond of and devoted to your children, Luca from the first marriage and Leah and Linda from the second. You were very proud that all three have successfully finished university studies. As I could witness, you were an excellent father with strong nerves, maybe a bit more on permissive side of parenthood. A few months ago, you called me from a hospital in Vienna and told me that you just underwent a surgery and that you are going back home. I was shocked, as it was totally unexpected from a healthy Misho, but you spoke very normally and calmly. When me and my wife visited you next Sunday, you were the same as usual. You walked outside to the terrace where we had beer. Later, your condition slowly deteriorated. At one point, you called me and asked if we could go together to Strand Cafe for spare ribs and beer. This was later called off because of your treatment. On my next visit, I brought spare ribs and Budweiser beer from Strand Cafe. You appreciated it very much, but did not have appetite to eat or drink. You spoke very openly about your disease and treatment as much as you know about it, as much as you knew about it. A few weeks ago, you got the idea to go to your summer house in Mareda at the Adriatic Sea, which you refurbished last year under supervision of Luca. I asked you a few years ago, what is the financial estimate for the reconstruction? And you told me the number. My answer was okay. Just multiply it by number P. You laughed. Later, when the construction was finished, you said I was wrong. The over budget was not times P, but rather times natural number E. To travel to Mareda, you will rent a van and go there with children and a nurse. You told me you will call me when in Mareda, but there was no call. Your treacherous disease was faster. You will not see Mareda, you will not feel the breeze from the Adriatic Sea, or swim, or taste Malvasia, or fight with mosquitoes. Rather, we will accompany you on your last walk. But you will always stay in our memories. Rest in peace, Misho. Počivaj v miru, Misho.
Regrets, I've had a few, but